Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. I'm Nathan, and we got a pretty full panel with us tonight, this Friday night. I appreciate everybody coming out. We've got JH586, Kyle Luss, Chico Wise, and special guest tonight, 243 Outdoors. So we appreciate 243 coming out. If you guys don't know him, go check his channel. I'll be sure to put it in the description somehow or another. But otherwise, I think when he said something in chat, you can hit the little bubbles next to his name and go to his channel and subscribe there. So if you guys want to go around, talk about what's going on, say hey.
Sure, guys. Hey, this is Chico. Thanks for being here, guys. I'm excited. Like every Friday, this is our release time, so to speak. So thanks for being here, as I am. Say hey, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle. I'm not talking a bunch tonight.
I like the way you talk to.
He's been talking too much like that, and it's stuck.
Yeah.
I need a biscuit. Matter of fact, before my kids find them, I'll be right back.
Oh man, that is terrible. You know what's funny about that is, like, I think it was last week. Catherine said, Loaded Cap Gun said something about, I don't know, whatever, and I got started doing that, like just making fun, just constantly, like every once in a while, like, I sure do like to cut her on that, and she got so irritated with it. I hope she watches tonight. That way, every time Kyle says something, be reminded. Oh.
Hey, last week I actually got to see most of it live. I was supposed to work, but I somehow didn't make it. I called in, but I wasn't at home. I wasn't on my device, so I wasn't logged in, so I couldn't chat. But I did actually. That's the first one I've caught live, so I don't think I've ever missed a Georgia chat. I think I've watched every one. It's usually late Friday night or first thing Saturday morning. I usually get it watched, but I don't think I've missed one yet.
I like watching chats kind of while I reload and stuff. I can kind of put it on. Sort of like what you did with your compass. It's kind of on, you're paying attention, but not super like having to. It's really good for that.
Then you can speed it up too a little bit. And
to 1.5.
And
well, Preacher's Day Off says we finally got a shooter on here. Yeah, absolutely. There's out of all of us, you're the one that definitely has the shooting on video. None of us could probably ever hang with, but. Well, I really appreciate you coming out.
Hey,
I know everybody else does. So, what all you got going on? Where are you at with the compass? What's up?
Well, I went out and shot my test loads Monday, and I had a little issue, kind of an idiot moment on myself. The compass has this little red sleeve that slides over the barrel for advertisement purposes. And like Johnny's Reloading Bench and a bunch of them said, you can store this in your rifle and it'll keep it all centered up with the stock and everything. Well, idiot me forgot to take it out, and I shot 3 of my 4 groups with this wedged in the barrel. Groups were so-so, but I think we'll just reshoot those, and I'll show you what I did. But it's a new gun, so that's just putting rounds through the gun. That's kind of that's the way I look at it.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's man. That's almost as bad as showing up to the range, for this whole thing that you got set up, and then remembering that you forgot your SD cards, and yeah.
Oh, I've done that. I done that the other day. I was going to zero the scope. I set up the tripod, the camera, turned it on, and I have 4 seconds on the camera. I was like, no card.
Son of a brother.
I do that maybe once or twice a month.
I do it pretty bad. Well, my latest one that I really appreciated was on Friday. I think it was Friday or Saturday. Yeah, it must have been Friday because it was right before I left. So I shot a full the full Reloaders Network weekly recap. I'm like, when I get back to doing these weekly recaps, shot the whole thing. I'm going to take the card with me, and I'll edit it while I'm on the road, on the trip. Yep, forgot the card. And it's a week past now, so it's like it's not even worth putting out because it's like last week's weekly recap. So
I need to find the footage on my camera because I'm pretty sure I'm all ready to pull the trigger, and I go, You have got to be kidding me. I mean, I said it out loud when I realized it.
That'll be a great blooper. That'll be a great blooper.
I think there's a blooper on there.
Absolutely. So, you know what? We've already got a pretty heavy chat already tonight. So I'm going to do a little bit of a call out here. Cranky Cletus, thanks for coming out. Brother William C. Chapin. 76 High Boy, reloading. Guys, if you don't know his channel, go ahead and hit the bubbles next to his name and take a look. Vanessa, thanks for coming out. Ocean, the man with the original compass plan. Appreciate it. Uncle Jim, I just started watching your video with the with Kenny's gift. I didn't get finished with it yet, so I got the surprise of what's coming up next. Trev was giving me the business before we even started tonight. So I appreciate you coming out. Idaho Rogers, USMC. I hope everything's going all right with you, brother. Preacher's Day Off is in the house. Fuzzy Fork 8, man. Good to see you. Williams Chapin, hey brother, how's it going? Bigger Behind the Trigger. Yeah, with Mid-South stickers and Josh with the ever-present Mid-South hat. You guys kind of got a thing going on there.
I've been wearing Midway shirts and Mid-South hats, so I just kind of mix it up,
Nice, man. It's all about diversity in the world now.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Echo and the Bunny Man. I don't think I've seen that name. Glad you can make it. Coach Brothers Firearms, Daryl Goyton, Sean Tierney, Jeff Moore. Boy, we got a lot of people out here. Some of these are new to me. I have noticed that, we've been picking up maybe a few more watchers, at least on my side of the house, probably since Jamie's been doing such a good job hosting when I've been off, for work. But guys, look, if I didn't call your name, I'll try to get to it next time. I appreciate everybody coming out. I know that, this is a big thing for us. We love doing it. And tonight we actually have somebody on here that can shoot. So I'm sure you're here to talk more about with 243 Outdoors and what he's got going on than what I got to say. So thanks. What else is going on, brother? What all you been up to? So you went and did your test rounds. What's the plan moving forward?
We're going to do the test rounds again, and then I used Varget on these, and they're okay. Nothing to brag about yet. And I'm going to try CFE 223 also. I got quite a bit of that, so I'll probably go from there. But I think the gun needs 50, 60 rounds through it before it really kind of starts settling in. So I got a lot of stuff going on right now. I don't know. And the work deal between like Tuesday and Friday, I can do basically nothing on YouTube. I mean, I can kind of read my comments and that's about it. So before I was having 4 or 5 hours in the morning, I could work on stuff. But I've got a video for some Fort Scott munitions, which they're a solid copper 243 round. And I've been working on this project for a month. I've got stuff on 3 cameras and I've got it all shot and filmed. So I just got to put it all together now. So I've been really working on that. So. And then my neighbor kind of dropped something off the other day. So Ozark said something about big bore. So we might have the 500 Smith & Wesson back in the house. So probably load up some ammo with that, play around with it a little bit. So if you guys got any suggestions on what you want me to shoot with it, because that's what I like to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just really good for just blowing stuff up. So, anything carbon.
Letting other people shoot it. I have more fun, like, hey, you want to shoot it? Here it is.
You try this damn thing. Yeah. Yep.
I like surprising people with my 44. I'll put them factory loads Jamie bought in there and just like 1 out of the 6. What was that?
Yeah.
Then tomorrow morning, I've got to go take my recertification for my concealed carry license. So that means Illinois has had them for 5 years. So just a little 3-hour course. I think we got to re-qualify. It shouldn't be no big deal, but we got to do that in the morning.
Well, I mean, that's I hate to say it's kind of a step in the right direction for them, but
we didn't have it forever. I mean, I'm tickled to death we got it. So
I just threw my FOID card away, like, I don't know, a couple months ago. I haven't lived there in years.
Mine's about wore out. I bought so much stuff with it, the number's about rubbed off of it.
I want to say hey to Adam Jean out there. He said, "What about me? Nobody called my name." So hey, Adam Jean, and Idaho, hello, Tread, Thomas, Jeff Moore, and Highboy's with us tonight. Thanks for joining, Mr. Highboy. and the Crazy Scotsman's out there. So we're doing pretty good so far. Even if Kyle does sound like Kermit the Frog.
News are being green.
I feel for you, brother. I do.
He's in charge of the chat tonight.
Yeah. Thomas says that there's a grizzly bear using Kyle's channel. Grizzly Adams did have a beard, and does look a bit like that, doesn't he? Yeah. Groovy voice. Anyway, but yeah, guys. Oh wait a minute, I'm just heading to Sparta. Huh?
Yeah, he said he was thinking about kind of relocating down there. They have the World Shooting Complex down there at Sparta, so there's a lot going on there. I've never been there, but I kind of know where it's at and everything. But it's still a couple hours away from me. But
I dated a high school in Sparta when I was a younger man.
You dated?
Yeah, I was over in your neck of the woods there a couple weeks ago. Kind of went on the backside of Scott Air Force Base, and then we went south there a little bit.
Yeah. Long story short, Kyle, it was a weird time, man. It was the 90s, and you just went from one person to the other.
No, you said you dated a high school. I want to know how you took it out.
Yeah, it was like my first year of the military, and you had to do it one at a time. Yeah. That's how you do that.
Southern Illinois high schools only have like 14 students. So
yeah, it was like 23 girls, and it wasn't much. Oh, B-Borg, how you doing, brother? I see you. I think you just subscribed to me, so glad to see you, man. So yeah, my deal. Just a kind of quick rough of what's been going on. I've been trying to get back into shooting videos and doing stuff. I just shot a video this last week. Still hasn't up. Still haven't edited it completely. Doing the powder measure tests that were that have been started on the Reloaders Network, where we're just kind of trying different powders and showing how uniform they are. And once again, it always seems like, I have really good luck with that, where other people seem not to. So I went and went through what I go through: Unique, Number 9, Trail Boss. There was something else I used. I went through, just several different powders. I was going to do some stick powder, but kind of thought better about it, not wanting to chop up powder. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. I've been trying to get back into doing some of the weekly recaps. I have a reloading video that I've got to finish that's on the 32 mag. And I've got some 9mm stuff hopefully coming up here soon. I'm sure Chico's interested in watching me screw that up. So that's a segue into Mr. Lead Sorter for a half an hour himself.
Right. Yeah, man. Let me see what I got going. I'm trying to redeem myself from those 2 firearms that I didn't pick up. So I've got a video probably coming up how I redeem myself. I think you guys gonna be like, how do you find this stuff? So it's probably gonna be exciting and pretty funny. But other than that, I'm doing the same thing. I'm loading up 45 and still loading up plenty 9s. I need to switch my press back. But I got an ideal. I may not have to switch my press back, so that's a hint. But so that's just it, me, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Who is that?
More blue Kool-Aid.
I don't know. There's some Kool-Aid, some kind of.
Maybe you'll get something red this time.
Yeah, possibly. But I'm just trying out my. I'm trying to get those semi-wide cutters down to a T as far as the perfect. Not the perfect, the acceptable load for what I'm using. I gotta try some different powders for that 45 because I've only been using a CFE pistol. I need to try that Shooter's World powder and Tight Group for that same projectile. The sequence. A lot of
Tight Group does really good work, and I'm sorry that you couldn't make it there while I was there. Me and Jamie were looking at oddball stuff, waiting on you. Then we went over to the gun side of it, and my woman calls me up and says, "You better be home when I get there. I'm going to my house because I have to get out of these wet clothes." She had to work all day outside in the damn Christmas tree area, so she was soaking wet and unloading all kinds of trees and all that, and they all had snow on them from where they were cut in North Carolina. So she was just soaked to the bone. So I'm like, I gotta go. She's getting off work early, and I need to be home. I beat her home by about 10 minutes.
No, I also got and I need to try that too. But the 3 powders that I have, that HP 38, and a lot of people were telling me, hey, that's a good powder too. So I'm gonna
Very
load up some of that also in these 45 bullets I got.
And yes, Uncle Jim, it's a 1911.
So what you're saying is you went out and bought something immediately with PayPal as soon as you could, right?
PayPal had me mad, man.
Money to burn.
Yeah, can't hide that money.
Man.
Can't hide that love for PayPal neither.
Yeah.
Hey, let me say something right quick. I want to say hey to Pamela Earp. This is the first time I've seen her, and apparently Idaho invited her to our chat. So thanks to Idaho for inviting her, and thanks for Pam for showing up.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Idaho. I appreciate it. The more people we can get in to see, and we can read you guys' feedback and find out how to do a better job. Tread had a good idea of opening up kind of a Q&A here in the chat as we go on. I do think that's a pretty good idea. We'll do that here in a little bit once everybody kind of talks about what they've got going on. Jamie, I just saw that you posted your 35 video number 7. So how'd you feel about that 30-31 load?
Let me sum it up this way. I got home from work today, and I had a package, and I opened this package up. It's from Midway USA, no name on it. Josh, you'll get a kick out of this. A comb rising kit. So there is at least one particular individual who is really sick of watching me shoot that 35 Remington through those see-through sights, and is tired of me kicking one group out, one of the culls out. But that's the reason I shoot a 5-shot group. I don't necessarily want to take one out. I just want I want a true representation of what the load's doing. And yeah, those groups were a lot bigger than I thought they would be. But at the same time, I had a new pair of glasses on that I was trying to get used to too. So I might delete that video and start all over with 30-31. I got one comment I seen since I've turned that on is Preacher's Day Off posted that 30-31 is the only powder they'll let you load with in heaven. But I beg to differ. I don't think Jesus is using 30-31, brother. But I could be wrong. I have been before. And,
no, he's still using black powder, and he can correct it in flight. So,
which I've got a lot of golf jokes like that. So,
hey, oh God, who said it?
I seen it.
Oh, hey, preacher, I got something for you. Oh yeah.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
So we got a great crowd out there, guys. We're just I'm floored that we've got so many guys, so many big names out there, so many people that were, well, the regular guys. I mean, we're blessed to have y'all join us on Friday nights. And Fuzz is out there, and Ozark Spirit showed up. So go ahead and anybody else need to talk about what they've got going on? I'll be doing a video here soon about my Mauser. I've got it put back together. So
and that thing looks gorgeous, brother. Looks gorgeous.
That is a beautiful stock.
Oh man, it was worth every second that you spent on it.
Well, I've ordered some more stuff to go with. I already had the bayonet. I got the bayonet frog. I got a cleaning kit. I got a carry strap. You guys are going to have to teach me how to hook that strap up to that rifle. I think I got a pretty good idea, but there's a certain way you do things, and I wasn't in the military, so I don't really know these things. But
I'm not sound. It's just, I guess we got a good sound man.
Yeah, Kyle, do you feel up to talking about what you got going on, brother? Or are you just going to kind of skip out and stay with the Punch and Judy stuff here?
The what?
In and out. Basically making a comment here and there and just kind of letting everything go.
I'm really enjoying this Survival Sunday thing. I've got to reload. I've got a bunch of stuff that I just need to shoot. It's just getting there to shoot. I'm going actually to the shooting property in January, and we're going to have a lot of fun down there. I got some people from all over the country coming down and gonna hang with us, and there's gonna be 1,000 videos there. I don't even own a caliber that'll go a mile anymore. Like Josh, that right there is a hit at a mile. I'll sit there and watch that intro to your videos every time you post one. I'm just sick.
308 will go a mile. You got a 308.
Do what now?
A 308, it'll go a mile.
Good Lord, like artillery.
There is a Utah video of a guy hitting a milk jug at a mile with a Bergara 308. So he had a lot of scope adjustment on it.
Mine stays supersonic to about 1,200 meters. And I don't know if you're familiar with the metric system, but that's a little short. Of course, I'm shooting a 600 or a 208 grain bullet.
Yeah.
I can get faster velocities where they will go longer, but when they get there, it's like getting hit with a French fry.
Yeah.
So it's just not. It'll hit. I'll go out there to a mile and grab the milk jug. It'll have a dent in it. But I really enjoy that stuff.
But that 6.5 is about the same way. It does not have a whole lot of energy at a mile either, and that's beyond its practical range. But it will do it. So I mean, it's the accuracy is starting to fall off. The velocity is subsonic. But those ELD bullets are just so aerodynamic.
I'm losing all my ballistic coefficient energy and everything at about 1,200 meters.
Yep.
I got to go another 500.
Yep, and that's a lot that far.
It's not happening because once it drops subsonic, you don't know where that thing could go straight up. Nobody know where the hell it's going to go. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, y'all carry on.
No, man, go ahead. You carry on. You're part of this crew.
I'm trying. I just want to be able to talk to them because I got to go buy some stuff to make some sausage.
Yeah.
Sausage. That's another thing. A lot of people always talk about the transonic. That does not necessarily mean a bullet is going to tumble the second that it goes subsonic. I mean, it changes a lot of things, but a lot of these rounds still fly pretty true at low velocities.
Not a 208 grain. It don't.
But yes, that changes things.
That thing makes a left turn, turns backwards, and now the boat tail's in front of the point.
Look, I gotta ask Nathan, are you familiar with that Live and T-Mag?
Got one sitting over here.
Well, y'all see a comment in the side chat from Jeff Moore. You guys know I'm a sucker for a deal.
Yeah.
He said somebody has one for $59.
Man, okay, look, not only did I see that, and then I said, what are you talking about? Because I love that press. And then I went to sportsmanwarehouse.com, and at least on their website, they're listed for $189, but I don't know, man. I might want to do a little bit more looking into that.
Right, yeah. I just happened to see that. I was like, let me see how old this comment is. So thanks, Jeff Moore. I'm going to be searching.
Yeah, exactly, because a $59 T-Mag 2 is a heck of a deal, even for me just to have a backup, because I love mine.
Yeah, I don't even need another press, and I'll buy one.
Yeah.
I'll drive up there. They've got one of those in Chattanooga. I'll go get it.
Yeah, it's right up the street. Yeah. Well, an hour up the street, but it's up the street.
Yeah.
Up 75.
Okay. Maybe it's an in store kind of deal.
Yeah, probably a sale or something.
Jeff says trust me, he didn't need it. And yeah, man, I don't need another press right now either. But you watch me go ahead for $59. I mean, you couldn't even buy. I don't even think you could buy a turret for that. You buy the whole press.
Right.
Oh man, well, Kyle, I'm glad you got some shooting coming up, man. That's getting some range time is important. I don't take enough range time. And right now, because of the rain we had down here, the range that I'm wanting to get my new membership at is at Lake. They've had bless their hearts, they put a shooting club in a river slough. So if it rains hard, your shooting club becomes a river. And they've had a lot of berm erosion, and it doesn't look very good. But I'm sure they'll pull it back like they always do, and then you end up spending 2 weeks trying to clean it up. But I haven't been down to the other range, which does the same thing. It floods real bad as well. So I haven't been down there yet since it started raining. But I need to get down there for darn sure. I'm sure that we will after Christmas. We'll find time. But so let's talk a little bit about questions. We had Tread who wanted to know something. Crap, what was it?
He was wanting to know the best 6mm 243 precise cartridge.
Look at you.
Or projectile. So when I first started playing around 243, I was shooting the 105 AMAX. I really liked it. My gun's a 9 1/4 twist, and it did stabilize it. It shot it real well. Then they quit making the AMAX and kind of went with like I believe it's a 108 ELD or something. But I've never tried that bullet because I'm right on the edge of the stability. Then Logan at West Desert Shooter turned me on to the Sierra 95 grain tip Match King. And that is, I'm going to call that my go-to round for the 243. That is an amazing round. It's right in line with my twist rate, very accurate. And I haven't shot a lot of Sierra bullets, but I think I'm going to start because they make some really good stuff.
I actually sent Logan a box of, I had a box of 105 grain AMAXs that the gun that I was shooting through didn't stand a chance of it. You might as well load it backwards. And so I sent him a bunch of 243 brass and a bunch of bullets because I actually pawned the gun from a buddy. He needed some money, so I was like, just give me the damn gun and I'll take care of it. And, you know, I'll shoot it and I'll load for it and all that. And about 6 months go by. You want this gun back? No, I ain't got no use for it. Okay. So I slung that thing, you know. And I sent Logan all my 243 stuff. I did not send him the stuff that I still had loaded up.
Yeah.
I've still got them. 105 grains. Yeah, but you might as well shoot a Q-tip out of that thing. You'll get more accuracy if you shoot a Q-tip. It wasn't having it.
All right, so Tread's asking about the 6 Creedmoor. I have shot a 6 Creedmoor a little bit. I know a guy that's got a very custom precision rifle 6 Creedmoor, and I actually done some of the first shooting with it, kind of getting it broke in and the scope. I don't know if there's a big enough difference between the two and what I've shot. Generally, your 6 Creedmoor is going to have a faster twist. So ideally, I would think I like heavier bullets, so I would want a faster twist myself. But so many people with 243 use it for varmint hunting, shooting the lower grain bullets. So it's just one of those. It's what you're going to do with it. So to me, I don't really have a lot of reason for the 6 Creedmoor. I think the 243 fits that niche for me anyway.
Yeah, now I don't know all the difference. I mean, I know he was talking about the 243 and 6mm. I don't know. What do you know about the 6mm Ackley and whether or not that is just an obscure thing that it's just not worth even looking at? Or
I don't know nothing about it. I've never shot one, or like I said, the 6mm rounds I've shot is the 6 Creedmoor and the 243, and that's really all I know. generally the Creedmoor's got the faster twist rate.
That's interesting.
Do you guys know Gun Blue 490?
Yeah.
He has a video about improved calibers, and I'm assuming, and he's talking about the Ackley improved, and he don't think very much about them, and he's probably as wise a gun guy as there is out there. I like to listen to him. I've learned a lot watching his videos, but he kind of tends to think they're overrated because you got to have a different chamber cut in your rifle, and it's just not very conducive to versatility, shall we say.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I've found and that I think is somewhat true among Wildcats and what ends up happening when some Wildcats become factory options. Whenever you have a Wildcat, a lot of times you may have to rechamber your rifle or just put in, a short reamer or something like that. And whenever you do that, you make corrections in the rifle that may have been wrong with the factory, right? So like, let's say you have a little bit of chamber throat erosion, or you got a fair amount of jump in it or something like that. And you go ahead and ream that chamber out, and all of a sudden you fix that problem. And it makes it seem like that round is magic when actually it might have just been fixing problems with a factory rifle. And then you go and put that round in a regular rifle, and it performs just the same as everything else. I don't know if we get that a lot anymore, but I think that used to be the case back in the 80s and kind of some of the Super B and some of those days anyway.
Well, modern machining's come a long way on these budget rifles. It's amazing what accuracy you can get out of a cheap one, and I just love doing that because people tell me you can't take a Walmart 223 and shoot 1,000 yards with it, and I'm like, watch me. I mean, it's easy. It performs.
Well, Idaho says that comparing a 243 and 6mm Remington is like arguing oranges and onions. I agree, except for the fact when you say which one is better for this purpose.
Yeah, everything has its purpose.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're comparing like the best of their purpose, like you said, the 6mm Creedmoor has more twist rate, so it's better for heavier bullets. So if you compare the 243 versus the 6mm Creedmoor with a heavy bullet, then the 243 isn't going to be able to compete.
Yeah.
So, if you're just looking at it for purposes, I can see that. Now, Scotsman asked something about twist rate, but I didn't figure out what gun he was talking about. So
I think he meant all calibers, but
that's a little wide open.
So here's my quick answer to that. 308, the compass is a 12. I wish it was a 10, but you can't do nothing about that. My 223 is a 9 twist. I wish it was an 8, but you can't do nothing about that. The 6.5 Creedmoor is a 1 and 8. That is perfect. The 243, mine's 9 1/4. I would like that to be a little faster. So factory rifles seem to be just a little slow a lot of times, but they're oriented for lighter hunting bullets, I think, more. So that's kind of my twist rate.
So basically, just one inch less than whatever you have. Yeah.
Yeah, and that opens up the a whole lot more as far as basically like target or match bullets and stuff, the heavier bullets. My 243 has a 26-inch heavy barrel, so that's not really a gun you take out hunting. So I've never really experimented with the light bullets in it. So that Kentucky Gun Company had those compasses. I was tempted to buy another. I was actually tempted to buy 2 more, but I didn't. I was wanting the 22-250 and another 243, and boy, I was about to do it too. And then I was like, we'll just wait. But I would like to have a normal 243, I guess, something you could hunt with, coyote hunt, and we could play with the lighter bullets, some VMAX bullets, stuff like that.
Yeah. Guys in the chat, if you have a question for 243 Outdoors, let me know. I mean, this is the dude that shoots like a mile with, the gun that you think can't shoot. Or, pops, milk cartons at like a gazillion yards. So,
I don't know if you guys know this, but James Pollard has kind of issued a challenge to me to shoot a golf ball at 1,000 yards. So I'm going to try to do that here maybe over Christmas break or so. I reached out to Starline again. They contributed some brass for this. So I want to use their brass, and I want to shoot a golf ball at 1,000 yards. So pretty sure I can do it. I don't know how many tries it'll take. I'll probably limit myself to, 15, 20 rounds max, but I think I can do it.
Well, that's what because I mean, given the amount of rounds, just luck will play in, right? If you can shoot 4 inches or whatever at 1,000, 5 inches at 1,000, eventually
you'll get it. The soda can for Kenny's challenge I did a little late. I got it on the 10th shot, and I was just going to shoot 10 rounds that day, so we lucked out that.
What caliber is a golf?
Preacher, the lightest bullet I've shot is probably an 87 grain VMAX. I don't think I've ever went any lower than that.
That's in 243?
Yes, in 243. That was the first bullet I loaded. When I started reloading, I knew absolutely nothing. I basically took a catalog. I pretty much closed my eyes and was like, I'm buying this bullet. And that's what I started with.
That's good. I can tell you right now, I have, when I was thinking of when I'm building my 257 Roberts, I still have in my midway wish list the bullets that I put in there, and they're all way too heavy for the twist that I got in that thing, but I didn't know any different. So I was just like, well, shit, I'll just try here.
I literally knew nothing. I had that gun. I wanted to start reloading, and I was like, there's heavy bullets, there's light bullets. Let's go with these middle ones. And I didn't know the difference between Hornady, Sierra, Spear. That's what I'm getting, and that's what I started with.
One thing I found out, or I learned about watching your video at the Milk Jug Challenge, was how much of an issue it is when you're trying to shoot up against a hill. And it's funny because so much of our shooting ranges, like my shooting ranges anyway, and other people I've seen, they either have a berm out there or a hill. And like in the case of West Desert Shooter and stuff like that, when you're trying to shoot up against a mountain, Taco does this too, and the wind blowing up, it's like you almost have to aim at the dirt way low and then just hope that the wind pulls the bullet up. And I was just like, I don't know how you guys can actually do that with the consistency that you do. It's amazing.
That was the first time I'd ever experienced that, the picking the bullet up, because you'd shoot one round and it'd be like 15 feet higher than your last one. So we had 3 different winds, a triple crosswind. The wind at the bench was one way, the wind in the middle was the other way, and the wind at the target was the other way. And everybody had their kestrels out and all their ballistic deals, and they're like, what are you doing? I was like, well, the primary wind's going this way, so I'm going to aim this way. And that's all I done. It actually canceled it out. It actually was almost zero windage dialed on those. So people was just, I don't know. I shot a lot, and it just worked out, I guess. But with the backstop there and someone spotting for me, it was almost easy, I thought. They're telling you where the bullet's hitting. When I'm shooting on my own, I'm shooting on flat ground. And that's why I shoot a 3-foot target, because I can get on target and see where it hits, and then I can make an adjustment, to move towards the center. If I had a berm, I'd be fine with a 12-inch piece of steel or something. But they're calling out, 2 minutes high and 3 left. You're like, well, that's easy. Just move it over.
No, that's funny because I can, from my little bit of experience of shooting at rifles any kind of distance at all, I have a tendency to overcorrect for everything. And it's like I can imagine somebody calling me out and just like always correcting. It's like, come on, it's got to be in here somewhere. Just hoping I hit on it. William C. Chapin said in there that if you do have a problem with the accuracy of your compass, you may just need to orient your entire range to north.
See, I'm shooting northwest, so I believe we got enough north in it. I think it's probably gonna work.
That's good. Adam Jean says Chuck Norris was shot with a gun. The bullet was critically injured. No reload needed. I bet. But I've been going back. I went back and watched some of West Desert Shooter's videos that he posted recently about doing some of the zombie headhunt challenges and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. I've maybe an AR-10 something in the future. I'm considering really, really what I want to do with the. In case you guys don't know, I give a shout out to Alaska Ballistics for his 3,000 sub giveaway. I was lucky enough to win that. I've got to get my info to him. I haven't been able to get to the dealer to get his FFL stuff. But I'm thinking about doing a 223 long distance or a 224, and I don't know which. It's like, do I want to go with the Valkyrie without knowing if it's really gonna be a thing, or am I just getting into another fad that's gonna die and isn't really that necessary? I don't know. But something small caliber, long distance, long distance for me, which would be about 600 yards, is about all I got out here. So,
and a 223 would be perfect for that. I mean, there's plenty of heavier grain ELD bullets. They'll do it. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't have no issue with the 223. I'm not completely convinced or sold on the Valkyrie yet. I mean, there's a lot of issues people's been having with them. It just, at first I thought, that's pretty interesting. And I mean, it's mainly for a AR platform, which, if Ruger introduced one in a bolt action, I might consider it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in one of those points where I don't know what the honest purpose of it is really going to be. I mean, I guess shooting slightly heavier bullets for longer distances, but at what point do you just go to a better cartridge for that?
Yes. But it is more challenging. I mean, I'm basically fixed where I can only shoot like 1,000 yards here. It's a 6.5, it's no issue. 1,000 yards, boring regularity. Drop down to the 243, it's a little more difficult. Drop down to the 223, it's a lot more difficult. So, it's more challenging. So there's that perspective too.
I don't think I need things to be more challenging. I have a hard enough time doing what I do, which isn't much.
600 yards, get you a 7 or 8 twist barrel and that Hornady 73 grain ELD bullet, you should knock the crap out of that 600 yard target.
Yeah, what I'm looking for is 22 inches, 22 inch barrel ish, and a 1 in 7 twist. If I can find one that fits within what I'm wanting to build, I think that'll be pretty effective. I don't know. Being a gas gun, it'll be different because some of your oomph is lost.
Yeah, and my AR-15, just the basic AR-15 I throw together, nothing fancy, but the way I got it set up with the scope on it, I can shoot out to about 500 yards with it. I've never pushed it past 500, and it's a cheaper gun, but it works. I generally shoot factory ammo in it. It's really accurate with that Wolf Gold ammo, and I don't know, it's the only gun I've ever had that shot Wolf Gold good, but I mean it's right at 1 minute at 100 yards, and I like it, so I buy it.
Yeah. Idaho says Idaho Rogers USMC said he just bought a 224 complete upper for 220. If it's junk, I have a new expensive crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's kind of the thing I've been looking at. I've been watching people's videos and trying to get an idea. From what I can see, if you get something through Bear Creek, Palmetto, Davison, and some of the other discounted or lower priced, a lot of times you can get a decent upper that shoots really pretty good. Yeah. But I haven't seen that yet with the 224.
And the thing that leads me away from it is 2 to 3 rounds, sometimes 4 is the max on reloading them. I mean, it seems like it really jumps brass really quick. So, I mean, that'd be a really turn off for me too.
Yeah. That's
I think it was a Rack Veteran 8888. They did a 224 video, and they actually had rounds. I guess the barrel twist was spinning them so fast they was coming apart, the bullet, as soon as they left the barrel. So the rounds weren't intended to be spun that fast at that speed or whatever. So that was another issue some people were having with it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna run. Yeah, exactly. I had thought about that when somebody was talking about like 1 in 6 twists and stuff like that. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. Those bullets were designed for a 1 in 8 twist. Shooting slower than
3,000 feet per second. Yeah, or they're a heavier bullet, but yeah, they're not designed to turn that fast.
Yeah. Bigger says his dad stopped reloading and had me load his ammunition. He said he had reloaded enough. He said that's what kids are for. I had that same argument in my house a little bit. Not much. My dad seemed to like it all right. But I did some of that when I was a kid as well. Bigger, I appreciate the work you're doing with Mid-South, brother. That's gonna come in handy for everybody.
I got the that's what kids are for speech quite a bit when I was growing up.
Yeah. Kids were definitely for mowing the lawn, getting the gutters, indentured servitude. And I agree. And if I ever end up with children, I've tried the same argument with the dog. She just looks at me like I'm an idiot.
I got rid of my 25-06 and my 300 Win Mag and all that stuff when I moved back to Georgia. I had some buddies out in Vegas that actually wanted the guns, and they wanted them bad enough for me to just sell them to them. Because in Georgia, you know, a 30-30, a 35, a 308's kind of overkill. You're not going to get really much more than a 100, 200-yard shot. Unless you're illegally hunting on power lines and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's a couple of fields where you can get there. So 243 kind of made sense. So I could, you know, go out to 800, 1,000, whatever, just and have fun. But then I started doing a lot of work with my 308, and I can put that bullet wherever I want to now. But I'm limited to about 1,200 meters, so that'd be what, 1380 yards, something like that. I don't know that, but I don't have anything that can shoot that far anymore.
Vanessa says it's a balmy 38 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. Probably pretty cold up there with you guys too, I imagine.
I got a question for Josh.
Yeah.
Have you? I know you have. I just don't know the answer. Your cast bullets. You cast for any of your rifles?
I started casting this fall. I started 9mm, then I went to 223. Kind of got started on that, and then I've got sidetracked. So I need to get back on that. I haven't got the accuracy that I want yet. I'm finding out I'm sizing my bullets to 224, and I don't really think it's liking them. So we either need to shoot unsized bullets or go up to like a 225 or something. So that's on my list. I got a marker board with kind of projects, and it's on there. I just kind of haven't got to it. But
that was kind of my question. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
A few groups with unsized bullets. It wasn't on camera. I think that was one of the memory card issue days or whatever. But I had some good groups at 50 yards with unsized bullets. So I have a ton of targets I've shot with different combinations, different powders. There's so much to try. I just, you know, I could put up a video every other day for 3 months and just be on 223 cast bullets. So I'm new to it, and a lot of people's offered help and suggestions, and I'm gonna get back on it here shortly, I hope.
Yeah, because that was kind of what led me to that question. Because I've read and even talked to some people, like it's certain limitations on casting the lead bullets for rifle. Yeah. From basically what I've heard. So I was gonna ask if you had shot it, what was the most distance you did, but you just answered that, so I appreciate it.
I haven't. I was shooting at 100 yards because I'm still kind of low developing, and you know I'm shooting 2 and 3 inch groups at 100, so I scooted up to 100 or 50 yards to keep it, you know, groups a little smaller on paper. Sometimes I was missing the whole target, but I think it's a sizing issue, and like I said, I started with the 9mm, and they've turned out excellent. They are some great shooting rounds. I shot a couple hundred, I believe it was last Friday or whatever, and I'm not a real great pistol shooter. I don't shoot enough to really stay up on it, but I was in pretty good with them, and I'm really liking the cast 9mm.
Cool. Hey, look, that leads me to another question. Have you ever shot a chrono?
I hit the rod one time. And I was looking at it the other day. This is funny. My neighbor, he had some 9mm. He was wanting me to run through the chronograph, and I was looking at it, and there's this little bitty hole. You know, it's like a 22 caliber hole in the front of it. And I was like, "What's that?" And we determined it's a gas check. Had hit it, it'd come off the bullet, and it just made a little pinhole. You know, 22 caliber hole. It didn't go deep or nothing, but it had me puzzled because I was like, I don't remember shooting my chronograph, and it still works, but it had to be a gas check come off a bullet. So
okay, cool.
And hit it with a gas check.
Thanks, brother, for answering that.
I even said I only nicked it, and Jackie said one does not simply nick a chronograph with a 44 Magnum. That was so funny.
That was probably my favorite quote of this year.
We're gonna all have to get together and submit a bunch of stuff, and somebody needs to melt together a in memorandum video for the Reloaders Network for the year. I don't have the software and everything to do it, or else I'd be more than happy to do it. But because everybody's had, I mean, the look on you could hear Chico's voice when he got in.
Yeah, if every channel could send a video into somebody and then they could throw it together, we would have a great video.
I'm telling you, that would have the most views on YouTube. Oh my God!
Didn't Kenny do a video? Didn't Kenny do a video similar to that? I think.
Yeah.
Yep, he's probably gonna be the one.
Last year about this time. Yeah.
I don't have.
I think Kenny needs to be in charge of that project. Since he's not here, I make a motion. We think.
Yeah, I second. Yeah, not here to defend himself. There's no names.
Well, the eyes have it.
The eyes have it. Wanted to give a slight shout out, guys. As you can see there in the picture with 243 Outdoors, Starline Brass has really been helping him out. So, guys, if you want to give a look to Starline Brass and what they're offering, I'm sure it'd be a good product and worth doing.
And I'll give you my honest opinion on it. I had never really used it before, and they sent me some to try out. And a lot of time when you get bulk brass, the necks are caved in, the length is crazy. Every piece of brass so far has been right on the money. Like your low trim length, just 1 or 2 thousandths over that. I've took the headspace comparator on them. Every one is just spot on the money. There's no burr on the flash hole with it, and I thought that was just premium ammo was that way, but it's really good stuff. So I've really been blessed to work with them here. I've got their brass in 308, 6.5, and 243 so far, and then this 500 Smith & Wesson. This is my neighbor's brass, but it's also Starline. So I just never used it before, and I'm sold on it. It's really good stuff. So
you have
of 500.
Do what now?
Do you shoot a lot of 500?
It's not my gun. It just kind of borrowed. I bought a box of 50 rounds a year ago, and I think I had 18 rounds left, so I just got it back to shoot those 18 rounds. So, no.
I was going to say, I can send you some bullets, some cast bullets for it that you can try out. 440 grain, just lug nuts. I mean,
yeah,
that's the stuff right there. That's what we load in Jordans. So,
but there's a guy that owns this gun, and we just basically pass this gun around pretty much. You don't want to shoot it a whole lot, then you're about done with it. But I have more fun just like, hey, you want to shoot it? I'll fill the cylinder up. You have to shoot 5. You can't just shoot 1.
I've got a video on my phone of Jordan shooting our first reloads. We were out at the shooting property, shooting over the lake. And I had my Lee press screwed to a picnic table behind us, and I just loaded this round. And I handed it to him. I said, "There you go, big boy." And he shot it, and he would not let me put it on YouTube because he cussed in it. It was raining. We were shooting under an easy up. You know what I'm talking about? An easy up tent thing. It was raining. We were shooting under an easy up. He pulled the trigger, and all of a sudden, all you see is water coming off the easy up, and him holding the gun like this. And he blasphemed a little bit and just sat the gun down.
I believe the first time I shot it, I had the death grip 2-handed. And then my second shot, I went 1-handed, so it's manageable.
We found, I can't remember what powder we were using, but we found that Unique was a lot better, and his wife actually enjoys shooting it. What were we using? I'll have to get with him because he wrote it down in his reloading manual because I don't have a 500, so I didn't care. I just
I've been
worked
using an H110. I've got quite a bit of it from when I was loading 300 blackout, so that's what I've been using.
I don't know if it was it. It might have been little gun, but it was a lot of it. I remember that. Or tight group. Maybe it was tight group. I don't know, but it was right in the middle of the load specs, and I'm like, "There's something wrong with you." And he goes, "Okay, here." Hands me the pistol. I pull the trigger. I go, "That's not fun to shoot. That ain't fun to shoot at all."
243. Do you have an affiliate link for Starline on your channel?
No, I don't have nothing like that.
Okay, so they're just kind of basically helping you out, but you don't have an affiliate. Okay, I just want to make sure, because if you did, then guys that use it, I've used.
Yeah. If I do, I will definitely share that. So
have you tried Fancy Brasco? Because Reloaders Network.
I have checked out their site. I checked out their site the other day. So yeah, and they're offering is it 10% off for Reloaders Network?
Yeah. Bacon's got the link on the Reloaders Network. I know Ocean got some 308 brass and was really happy with it.
Yeah.
I've used them a lot, and I called him up and said, "Look, this is what we've done. What do you think?" And he goes, "If y'all have made a website dedicated to doing nothing but reloading, I'm not even going to look at it. Here, I'll put the discount code up right now. I'll email you when it's active."
Yeah.
And within 5 minutes, bam, it was active. I'm like, sweet. He's good people.
Yeah, I've been passing these Reloader Network cards out like crazy. I had Bacon send me an extra 100 there a while back, and I've spread them all over Southern Illinois and Southern Indiana, and I mean, great feedback on it. Everybody seems to love them. So
yeah,
I've also
handed out all of mine.
And
I haven't used any of mine as loading sheets. I've handed them all out.
Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 5 here for me, and then I bought 100. He's got in the mail, so I'll have 100 for myself. So
that's cool. That's cool.
I've been trying to hand them out, and I explained to people what the Reloaders Network is, and the feedback's been pretty good on it. So,
which is always good. Yeah. So Chico, you've been pretty quiet there, man.
I'm absorbing it. I'm thinking about my 308 in the future. I figure, because I've got a few 223s, but they're the they're the air light rifles. You know what I mean? They're the AR type rifles. So I like a good bolt gun. I've shot a few in my time. Not like I'm super old or anything, but I've shot a few in my time. But I just figured, man, with all that 308 brass I got, that's probably the route I'm gonna go. But just like Kyle said, there's not a lot of distances we can go down here. Probably 200 at the max somewhere, but most of the ranges I go to 100 yards the max. But if I could, I'd be excited to put something on paper in a good area, in a good group at 100 yards. I get excited when I do my little 1022 like that. You know what I mean? So I know I'll be excited if I can do something bigger, like a bigger caliper or something louder. So yeah, because I don't want to say I'm confused, but the twist rate is always what I look at when I'm looking to go purchase a rifle. Because I was like, hold up, I got to research this twist rate because I don't want to, whatever. So
yeah, you've got some 300-yard ranges up there because you got some max ranges up around there, some in a few places. So
yeah. It's a good little distance away, which is not bad. Most outdoor ranges I go to are it's gonna be a drive at least an hour away, but I don't mind going, putting that drive in. But one range I go to, a local range that I do most of my footage at, I can't even shoot my AR pistol there unless I buy their frangible ammo, and I'm like, sorry, like I'm not buying your $30 for 20 rounds frangible ammo. You know what I mean? And I thought about loading my own frangible ammo, but there's not a lot of stuff out there. Like, I don't see a lot of stuff like that. Information or videos rather. So, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna do this 308 because I got all that brass. I guess it's crazy. I got 499 pieces of that brass. So
You got 499 pieces of brass.
yeah. That was one short, and if it matters, I got 6 pieces of 300 blackout brass that was also in that bundle I got. So I guess that makes up for the one that I didn't have 500 total. You know what I mean? So
No, nothing makes up for not having that one. That would.
I was like 499. Do I want to count this again? I was like, no, I don't want to count it again. So
Don't worry. I
absolutely
got you. I got you. I'll give you a piece of brass. That way you can say you got 500.
500, right? So
Willie,
yeah,
brother. Glad to make it to the chat. Glad to see your video earlier. Yeah, glad to see you, brother. Hey, Mig, in the channel early. I'll give a quick shout out here to some people. It's been about an hour. So we got William C. Chapin, Loaded Cap Gun, JCM 45, Ozark Spirit, Willie Bullet Man, William C. Chapin, Measuring Grains. Guys, if you don't know Mig's channel, please go take a look at it and give him a scribble if you think you're interested. He does a lot of really interesting work, and it goes more than just guns and stuff, so it's pretty awesome. Adam,
snowed in a lot.
Yeah, it's because up there in Michigan, it's just too damn cold to do anything but play around and make videos and work. So Vanessa Kitty in the chat, Cranky Cletus, thanks for coming out, brother. Preacher's Day Off, who is, I believe, pulling pork vigorously. Ozark Spirits, Bigger Behind the Trigger, M1 Carbines. I had one for like 15 minutes. It wasn't a real one. It was a universal, and it was not very well made. Leslie Fork 8. Glad you can make it, brother. Uncle Jim, of course. Fred. Kind of go out here. Idaho Rogers USMC, of course. And Pam. Pam. What's your full name, Pam? I'll find that in a minute. Who else we got here? James Pollard, thanks for coming out. I'm gonna find this person's name before I say that I'm done for this. I'm gonna find this. Man, there's a lot of people in the chat tonight, guys. Thank you. This is crazy. I'm just kind of looking over it. I mean, there's been times when I look down for a couple or look up for a couple seconds. I come back, and it's completely on a different page. So, guys, you're blowing the chat to pieces here. I'm sure you guys probably told me what I'm missing.
Pamela Earp.
Thank you very much, Pamela Earp. Yes, absolutely. I'm sure that, Earp, everybody's telling me, and I was already way up there. Anyway, guys, thanks everybody for coming out. I appreciate it. And so what else we got going on here? What you got any interesting questions, comments, or anything there, Jamie? You're being awful quiet.
I got one that I promised somebody in the chat I would ask Josh, and do you think I do? Do you think that a bolt gun is inherently more accurate than a semi-auto?
There is a lot of variables on that. I'm going to probably personally lean bolt gun. However, there are some amazingly accurate gas guns, and it's just a combination of what parts you put together. I don't have a lot of experience with gas guns. I've had, I guess, 2 ARs total, but nothing precision. And I wouldn't even call my bolt guns really precision because they're just off the shelf factory rifles. But reloading is a lot of the technique that makes these rifles shoot and makes them accurate. So, and like I said, I use Lee dies. I use a Lee press. I don't have the biggest high dollar, Dillon press and Forster dies and Redding dies. I picked up a set of 308 dies today at the gun shop. I've been borrowing a set, and of course I get the Lee dies. I mean, it's working for me, so I'm going to keep going that route.
And Lee makes some amazing rifle dies for me.
Yeah.
The collet dies, the factory crimp dies, things like that. I like the way they're designed, and I think they do a really good job.
I do too. I like how they work, and I've had basically no issues. I had to send my 6.5 Creedmoor die back to them And I don't know if it was my fault with kind of dirty cases, but they got where they was really wanting to stick, and they just polished it out and put a new decapping pin in it and sent it back, and I've had zero issues with it. And I sent it to him like on Monday, and I had it back on like Friday, so it was fast.
I wanted to ask you on behalf of Chico, do you think there's any specific kind of model or anything of the Ruger American that's better than the other? Because I mean, if I was going to go out, I know that the Compass is right now, was pretty expensive, and it has a threaded barrel. But the Ruger kind of is what pulls at me if I was going to go buy an off-the-shelf bolt gun right now. What do you think?
Yeah, the Compass, to me, it's a cheap rifle. The barrel's pretty thin on it, and if you guys watched a lot of Johnny's Reloading Bench videos, the barrel harmonics on that is going to be an issue. I don't know a whole lot on that subject, but putting a suppressor, a muzzle device, or something, I think is going to help tame that. Put a little weight on the end of it. That Ruger is a medium profile barrel. It's got a little more meat to it. The Predator model comes with that factory rail, but that means nothing because I usually yank those off and put the 20 MOA base on them. The Ruger's got a pretty decent trigger on it. Compass is so-so. I worked on mine. I've got it a lot better than it was. So yeah, I mean, the Ruger's downfall is the stock. It really is the stock.
Now, I mean, can you still pick one of those up from Phasian or whoever's making stocks right now? I mean, I think they've got them pretty near bolt-in almost.
Yeah, the Boyd stocks are great options. If I change stocks, I would probably go with the Magpul, the new Hunter American. Midway's got them on sale. They're about I don't remember, 225, 250 range. But I've held I guess I've held one, and then I've seen the 700 Hunter stock, which is the same thing just for the Remington, and they're a good feeling stock. They're a little weighty, which I like, but I think they're really good. But I've never really. I mean, do I need to pitch $250 more into my gun, and will it make it more accurate, or did I just waste $200? So, I mean, I would like to have one, but I probably won't.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's kind of making a determination of where your money's best spent, bang for the buck.
And it may
Good
not
question.
like it.
Yeah, good question. Hey, so I'm curious, and I haven't looked into that. What is going on with Ruger stocks?
They're just cheap. They're
the synthetic type.
They're synthetic. They bend when they set in the box. When they're on the shelf in the box, they one side leans and it'll touch the barrel, and there's nothing to them. I mean, you take the action off the gun and hold the stock, and it just has this real cheap feel to it. The Compass actually has to me, it feels better than the American. It's got more meat up front. When you start shooting off a bipod, you get a lot of flex and things happen. Like I said, my Ruger's got a pound of lead in the back of it. It's got fiberglass up front. I mean, I've got a couple pounds added to it just to weight it down. It feels all right. It's not a perfect stock, but it works.
Cool.
Well,
and there's also the chassis for like the PRS type guns. There's I know two for sure. MDT has a couple models, and then I think it's Indian Creek Design, ICD or something like that. They have a chassis also.
Now, if I remember correctly, didn't you have some issues with your American with the barrel and stock contact?
Yeah, pretty much everyone will contact it when you get it. And I just took my Dremel and just took a little bit off both sides. And that pretty much solved that. It's not a big deal, but it's advertised free floating, so you want it free floating.
Now, Daryl Guyton came up with a good point. The Ruger American actually makes a left-handed chassis.
Yeah, they have left-handed guns.
To say that, but I realized that my Matco toolman at work is a left-handed shooter, and he ordered a Ruger American. Or a Ruger, I don't know what
Predator or something.
But it was left-handed, and he liked it, and he's taken it and started shooting it and loves it. So, left-handers, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that makes a big difference. It's funny because my mom is left-eyed and she's shot right-handed her whole life because the lack of left-handed rifles. Um, so I know that probably makes pretty big difference.
And we've run into that. I am left-handed and I do shoot right-handed. And growing up, my dad's left-handed, I'm left-handed, and he's like, we're not getting into left-handed bows, left-handed guns. You're going to learn to shoot right-handed. So and then that naturally made me right-eye dominant. And then I shoot a pistol left-handed, but right-eye dominant. I shoot rifle right. That it seems like there's a whole lot of us like that.
I'm in the same boat. I write with my left. I do everything with my left hand except
Yes.
throw a baseball and shoot.
Measuring Greens just said the exact same thing. I'm a lefty, shoot righty because Dad was too cheap to get the left-handed lefty gun.
No, I mean, hell, I'd buy a left-handed gun, but I'm right-eye dominant, and I write
Yeah.
with my left hand.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is handy when you're shooting on the bench. You can just write your notes. People comment all the time, I'm shooting right-handed, and they're like, "But you're left-handed." And it's like, it works.
Actually, my buddy's daughter, she's got a 243 single shot. It's a interchangeable barrel, 243, I think 410 and a 22 or something like that. And she shoots right-handed, but she's left-eye dominant, so she rolls her head over the stock and shoots it. And she's like, I don't like this rifle. I'm like, 'cause you're not using it right. I'm trying to get her to shoot left-handed. It's a right-handed bolt gun, but still, you can shoot them left-handed. I'm trying to, and she just can't. She's not ambidextrous with any of that, and it's really. She loves shooting. She can take a Ruger Security 6 and just wear a beer can out to about 60 yards. But you put a rifle in her hand, she's lost.
Yeah, we got a lot of people.
PMC Chapin, I do everything with my left hand. Thank you.
There's a lot of people in the chat that have a lot of different, situations with that. I just remember one of the things that Mom used to do was she would get those scope rings, the high scope rings that you can see through, because that way she could lay her head over and use that left eye more effectively. It's just funny because then I would get a hold of it if I was going to shoot her gun. I'm like, good grief! I had to sit my chin on top of the stock to actually see through it.
Man, they are lighting the side chat up. I can't even read it. It's going.
Yeah.
Every time I look up, it's moving, man. It's
It's not Asia, Jim. It's the Middle East.
Let me say something to Chico. Chico, one of the things you'll love about a 308 is that 30 caliber. 30 caliber is such a versatile round because they make so many different bullets for the 308. You can get, I think it starts around 110 grains and goes all the way up to 200, 220 grains in 30 caliber bullets. And
did you guys see Ocean's mold he picked up this week? That NOE mold. That was a very good looking bullet. I think I'm anxious to see how that does.
Tell me about it.
I believe it was a 177 grain, somewhere in that range. It's just it's an HTC, no lube grooves, boat tail design. It's a good looking bullet.
I really think that, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I really believe, like what I asked you, I believe that bolt guns are more accurate than gas guns, depending on what you're talking about. But I believe that no lube grooves, a more barren surface particularly on a cast lead bullet, is inherently more accurate. We've probably talked about this before, but Chico, these are some bullets. I don't know if you can see this. Let me talk where you can see it. That's I got that. MCK sent me those. That's 311 diameter, 100, and it's coming in around 119. And I think Cranky and I are going to be. I'm going to size this down and load it up in 30-30 when we start
Okay.
doing our 30-30 testing. And before I start fine tuning these loads for my 35 Remington, I'm going to take those see-through sights off, and I'm thinking about changing the scope as well. That scope.
Jamie, grab the target that you shot with your hunting load.
I've done put it up, but yeah, it was a half inch, a little over half an inch, 25 yards. In the dark too, I might add. It's that range is something else. The further you go down from the bench, the darker it gets, and we gotta get Chico up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get up there, you know. But yeah, I think that was one of the things because I talked to a few folks. I know Eagle Eye helped me out too. That 30 caliber bullet is a lot of guns utilize a 30 caliber bullet, you know. So
Yeah,
I didn't, you know. So I was kind of thinking when I buy a mold that may particular work for a few different rifles that I own. You know what I mean? So
exactly. I
that'll
think
be
I
kind of
have.
good.
I'm sorry. I think
No,
I have.
no, go ahead.
I think I have 4 different molds for 30 caliber. I have a 311, I think that Taco sent me. I have a 309 180 grain round point, and then I have a 170 grain 309 flat point for the 30-30. That bullet was made for the 30-30, and I kind of tend to like to stay with the weight of the bullet that the gun or the cartridge was originally designed for. Like you see a lot of guys shoot a 150 grain bullet in a 30-30, and I'll do that and play with it. But when it comes to particularly taking something out to the woods to kill a deer with, I like to stay with that.
Heavier bullet.
Well, the bullet that was like 308, for example. In my mind, it was pretty much designed around a 150 grain bullet. The 30-30 was originally designed pretty much around 170 grain bullet. The 30-06 pretty much was a 168 grain bullet. If you look back to the original military weight of the bullet, and you guys chime in and tell me where I'm messing up, and
You're straight on, brother. You're straight on.
It just seems like it's what. And another thing, Kyle and I have talked about before, 45 ACP. I think John Browning designed that gun to shoot a 200 grain bullet. Well, we all shoot 228, 230 grain and other kind of stuff. And that's part of the fun of reloading is seeing what you can make work in a particular cartridge and in a particular firearm. But when it comes down to what it's designed to do, that's where I tend to spend the most time.
Well, I mean, you know how the 45 ACP come around, right?
I know John Browning designed it for the military.
In the Pacific Islands, they were using 38s and 32s, and all that the enemy would have to do is wrap themselves in about 10 banana leaves, and they were bulletproof. And so Browning said, okay, try this out. And they were noticing that they could reinforce the banana leaves and the 200 grain bullet wouldn't do it. So they wanted a heavier bullet, build the barrel a little bigger, you know, put a little more meat where it can hold some more pressure, and let's send a 230 grain bullet that way. And everything they tested, everything got obliterated. Give birth the 230 grain round nose 45 ACP. And from that point on, they didn't give a shit they didn't care how many banana leaves they wrapped around them. Because it was a done deal. that's how the 230 grain 45 ACP came to birth right there.
And there you go.
Little history lesson for everybody.
Yeah, I kind of. Oh,
Jamie?
sorry, Nathan.
No, it's all right. You're talking about bolt versus gas. What I would say, brother, is that the bolt has more capacity for accuracy. You know what I mean? On the upper end of trying to do, like, I don't think I wouldn't think you're going to see a bench rush shooter with a gas gun, right? But,
Not as likely.
Yeah, but in my level, I think you're going to be able to do pretty much so similar type work with your reloading and stuff like that. But when you get at those high ends, the gas gun's just not going to be as repeatable and as precise with headspace and everything else. It's just, I don't think it's going to be.
It's going to be rougher on brass. There's just more going on. You have the recoil impulse. You're going to have your bolt slamming back. You're going to have a secondary impulse on that. It's just, there's a lot going on. And, you're not going to neck size for an AR. You're not going to bump the shoulder back 1,000th or two. You're going to full length resize it every time.
Yeah, that's my take on it. But I think a basic, probably this is one of the reasons why I think West Desert Shooter, with what he's been doing, has moved more and more towards that AR-10. Because I think when you start pushing out 1,500 yards, mile, and stuff like that, I think the bolt gun's is probably where you need to be.
And I like that bolt action with the AR lower. I mean, you can run your 20-round PMags. You got all these stock options, grip options, trigger options. It's just, I mean, it opens the door up when you're using, there's lots of options for custom Remington 700s and so, but your Ruger American, you have one trigger, and yes, that's a Demolition Ranch shirt. I have two of them, actually.
Brother, well defended in.
I have watched Demo Ranch probably since he was about 100,000 subscribers, so I have been there for a long time.
That's good stuff, man. It's funny, some of us that we've been, subscribed to some of these guys, early on, and you've been there for a long time, man. And I got a couple people like that I've been watching for quite a while. And some of them I've never even commented on a video. I just watched their stuff, and then,
So Tread says on my reloading. So what I like to do anymore is, and I've learned 99% of everything I know from Johnny's reloading bench probably in the last year. I actually just discovered him about Christmas last year and got a whole lot of understanding. But once I like to fire form my brass, shoot it through the gun one time, bump the shoulder back 2,000ths, and that seems to be the best accuracy. Brass life seems to be a whole lot better. You're not before, I didn't know how to set up a die. I just screw it in. Sometimes it was touching, sometimes it was too far, and I was really wearing brass out. But yeah, bumping the shoulders back is about all I do anymore.
Williams Chapin's saying that there are bench rest AR specific classes now. The aggregates aren't much different, and he's chronographed, with low extreme spread numbers with the AR platforms. The gas pressure is self-regulating. I guess, man. I mean, my case on that is, and I don't know much, right? So I'm going on nothing here. This is mainly speculation and for lack of a better term, bullcrap. But I know a lot of these guys are going for very specific, very kind of light neck tension and things like that. And if you try that in an AR, you're going to push a bullet back in the case. And there's just no way around that. So I don't know how – I mean, I'm sure that there's specific loading techniques and everything else to do it. But, yeah, I'm sure that, you get in the high end of things. There's got to be – I'm sure there's a way to do it. I mean, there's guys that race bar stools. It doesn't mean that it's that it's the right way to do it, which is obviously a sprint car. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, that is an interesting topic. I mean, I personally would go, if I was going to go long range, or real specific, I would go with bolt, or even as Fuzz said, a single shot. I have a fancy for like a Shiloh or something. I don't know. Is that anything you've ever thought about getting into? 243.
Repeat that again. I was typing there.
Oh yeah, fair enough, man. You ever thought about getting into a single shot, like a Shiloh or something? I mean, I know that's kind of out of your normal realm of budget, but there are some budget or single shots. I don't know. NHL.
On the last Realtors Network chat we had, I'd seen a single shot, break action 243 that kind of piqued my interest, and I didn't go back and see if it's still there. But as far as anything else, probably not. I mean, I'm really liking these budget bolt guns. I don't know why. I just, a couple $100 and put a decent scope on it and just see what you can do with it.
You found kind of your wheelhouse for right now.
Yeah, I mean, and I love doing it. Just and it's so much as people say you can't do it.
Yeah, well, budget guns in general, right? Get a kind of a. Well, I think any hobby gets. There's so many different types of people. I remember this guy. He was friends with my dad. The only shooting that I think he ever did was he had a pile of logs over in the corner of his property that he shot like some 38 specials at. But you go into his shop and it was reloader heaven. And the whole thing was just about collecting tools and reloading. It wasn't about shooting. And I think depending on who you are, like some people, I think the idea of spending money on building very expensive guns is kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily kind of the shooting. So I guess different things appeal to different people. And I'm more like you in that I want something that's going to function and do the task I want to do it in. And I'm broke. So the cheaper I can do it, the better. I'm hoping that, but I try not to waste money on junk. I bought a BSA scope that was on sale, and after I bought it, I heard kind of like some horror stories. But I'm gonna review it. Hopefully, it'll turn out all right. And if not, I'm gonna go the way of my brother Kenny and pound CV life.
I've considered getting one of those. Just I read the reviews on them. They're 90% positive. I'm sure there's a few cases out there, but for that price point, wow.
Yeah, I know. The clarity and stuff he got with that. I don't know. Hey, you guys in the chat, if you haven't seen this, go check out Eagle Eye Shooting's channel. If for no other purpose than just, it's almost like a thumb in the eye to like the guy who spends $5,000 on a scope. It's like, this thing works. It's just funny.
And he's hauling through the desert in his truck with the scope bouncing around in the back.
Yep, it's good stuff, man.
I've got 2 of them on the way.
I started with the BSA scope on my first 243. It was a Remington 700. I bought it at Walmart, put a $50 scope. It served me well. That scope is currently on a 17 HMR at my dad's. Still performs. I mean, it's a good scope. It's nothing you would shoot long range, but for a 100-yard gun, 50-yard gun, it's always held zero, no issues.
Yeah, I'm just going to give it a shot and see what it'll do. I'm going to put it – well, I'm definitely going to be putting it to the test because I'm going to put it on my AR, which is going to be a 450 Bushmaster. So if it won't hold together, it ain't going to hold together. And so be it. I'm going to take those damn rings that are on it, throw those in the garbage and go find some decent rings for it. But other than that, I don't know. We'll see.
And that's what I hate, a $36 scope. And I typically, the rings I run anywhere $40 to, $60. And it's like for a $36 scope.
Yep.
One thing I've noticed is most of the time, all people's problems with their scopes is they're using the cheapest damn shit they can find to fasten it to their gun, and then they're not torquing anything. This one's got 80 inch-pounds on it. This one's got 3. And, they're not going through the proper steps to make sure that everything is seated properly, run 10 rounds through it without even looking through the damn scope, and then make sure retorque everything else. And then you start looking through it because you got to let everything settle in. The mounts, if it's a rail mount, they got to settle in. You got to retorque those too. If it's screwed in, if the mount rings, scope rings are screwed into the top of the rifle, you got to let them have some shock, retorque them too, Loctite preferably. And then you got to have the where the two-piece rings come together, all that's got to mate. Everything's got to be perfect. The stars have to align, and then praise the Lord, pass the biscuits. Now you can look down the scope and start shooting.
A Wheeler fat wrench is probably the best investment as far as a tool that I've bought, as far as probably anything gun related. I mean, 20 inch-pounds is all it takes usually for those scope caps, for your 20 MOA bases, and nobody can guess 20 inch-pounds. I don't care how good you are with a Allen wrench. Chico is, yeah, he's agreeing. That fat wrench is a handy tool, and it's accurate.
It is that video, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I don't have that tool, but me being a professional mechanic, I've got a lot of torque wrenches, and I've got some that go down to inch-pounds, like small inch-pounds for the little craziest cumbersome stuff. And anytime I do anything, any of my guns require, like when I was doing my AR build, it required some inch-pounds on some stuff, and I went to the job. I had to go get my inch-pound torque wrench, and I think it was like, I don't know, 40 inch-pounds something. You're not guessing that stuff. I don't care. Like he said, I don't care how good you are. You're not guessing that stuff. So.
And another thing is torquing your action, your stock to your action. That is critical. And you know, different will change things as far as reloading. Like my Ruger American, I think I torque it at 60 inch-pounds every time. I don't worry about it, and it's consistent. You don't have to worry about it being maybe 40 one time and 100 the next time. And all them things have to be just right on line to shoot well.
Yeah, my Weatherby is 48. To the action to the stock is 48. Yeah, I thought that was really odd, but
that wooden Boyd stock on my 22, it actually, the max setting on it's like 20 or 25 inch-pounds, which it to me don't seem like it's enough, but you know, it seems to work. So
yeah, I found that we use a lot of inch-pound stuff for like small engine work, and I found in most cases, if I just try to go by my calibrated elbow, I over torque stuff.
I took a scope off a gun one time, you know, and I guarantee you it was probably like 100 inch-pounds when it should have been, you know, you're trying to get it off of it and you're like, wow.
Well, like if you got an Allen wrench or Allen screws and you've got a T handle, you're going to over torque it. There's there's almost no way not to, because it just doesn't feel tight enough, you know. But like, you're right, having to torque.
There's always that little bit more, you know.
Yep. Run it down till it touches and then give it a quarter turn. Not really.
That's the German torque. Good and tight.
No, the thing is, when I'm building Cummins engines, I'm seating the head back on it. I'll put the head on there, put a little oil on the head bolts, run them down with a 3/8 impact, as tight as they'll go. Run them down with a 1/2 inch impact, as tight as they'll go. Then run them down with a 3/4 impact, as tight as they'll go. And then I'll put the fucking rocker arms on it. Yep, we're done. But that's okay. I'm Cummins certified.
You're a professional.
Y'all didn't find that funny at all.
No, I'm sorry, man. I just got into typing because Chap's been talking to me back and forth about. I guess he has a pretty big experience base on these like kind of like budget optics things. And I was telling him you should make a video, and he's like, everybody does reviews. And I was like, man, I'm thinking more of a comparison thing. Then we're talking about some live chat stuff. And he's talking about brand bashing, which
no, you don't have to keep on going. Kyle starts talking, everybody starts typing. Don't nobody give a damn what Kyle has to say. That's okay.
I absorbed everything you said, man. I heard you. But I was following the side chat, make sure I wasn't missing anything. Uncle Jim had me laughing over here because he said he can pee 20 pounds. He said laughing but serious.
Idaho, I'm making a joke, but I'm actually being serious. What it boils down to is there is a final torque, but that'll get you to where all you have to do is torque the shit one time.
And that's another thing on scopes. I'll step tighten them. You know, I'll tighten all my screws to 5 or 10 inch-pounds and go to 15, and then do a final. I'm not just torquing the first one to 20 and then going across, because that you don't want to do that.
All right.
Yeah, there's a step. Yeah, like everything else. Like Kyle was talking about doing a head. There's a pattern that you're supposed to use when you torque a head down to keep it from warping and stuff like that. And you know, guys, I don't know if that actually comes in the directions with the rings. You would think it would. I've never read it.
Really, some rings don't really come with anything. Sometimes you don't even see the torque settings on them.
Well, if you go to the Cummins website at rapidserve or quickserve.com and you have a login and everything, you can see everything. There's 14 pages of how to set the cylinder head on the engine and then torque the bolts down. After doing about 3,000 of them, I figured out just run it with a 3/8 impact, run it with a 1/2 inch impact, and then run it with a 3/4 impact. Or actually, with the 1/2 inch impact, there's a step between them. You run it down with a 1/2 inch impact as tight as it'll go. Then you take your torque wrench and see how tight they are. And they're all right around the same. Well, they're supposed to be at X amount plus so many degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So you find out how tight they are. If they're not that tight yet, you make them that tight. Then you just make a mark and then put your 3/4 gun on there and turn it till the line on your socket meets the line on the bolt. And you know you've turned another 60 degrees. We're not discussing diesel mechanics over here, though.
Speaking of which, Williams Chapin said that his Palmetto State Arm RCBS order just shipped out. So guys, if anybody in the chat is still waiting on them, they're still coming out from that clearance. So they're still shipping stuff. You know, I don't know if you're too late to get stuff by Christmas if you're waiting on it, but hopefully you'll be able to get it. I got mine last week, and Curtis, I think he put in his order a day after mine. So I think they're going
Wow.
asses and elbows to try to get stuff out as fast as they can.
One thing I want to do is say thanks to Idaho Rogers. He's an over-the-road truck driver. Lord knows where he's at. He may be on home time or whatever, but he tends to show up every Friday night.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know if he just pulls over and, well, I don't know if you're doing electronic logs or paper logs or whatever, but if you just grab your other log book and start writing or whatever. But, man, I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, that scope that Kenny uses, does he buy that off eBay?
Amazon.
I was gonna say, I think it ends in another hour. eBay I put out a deal alert earlier on a 15% off coupon. Now here's the thing: it says sporting goods, but most of the stuff that we buy, the category is up on the sporting goods. So that's still, I think that coupon is still available for until 8 o'clock Pacific time. I don't even know what that means. It's like 2 hours behind us or something. So I used mine today to buy some upgrades for Betsy. So maybe that'll help some of you guys maybe with some scopes or something gun related on eBay. And I didn't use PayPal. No, I didn't.
And guys, if you do miss that 15% deal on eBay, go ahead and go to the Reloaders Network and use the affiliate link for Amazon. It helps out to keep the site running.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris, I agree. That truck is slow. Brother, I'm waiting right now. I've got 2 packages on my way, U.S. snail service. I know it's like, come on, get here. And it's messed up. One of them's from NOE. And for whatever reason, when I go to the stamps.com, because that's the way that their tracking thing is when you click the link, it just shows like the delivery date is NA. And I'm like, oh, you got to get here. I got some stuff I need to do. It
seems like it usually says like en route to next destination or something. It's not detailed.
Yeah, it's kind of been the boat. It's the same way with the other package I got coming to me. Is I'm not getting many. I don't know. Hopefully it'll get here in time. James Pollard says his Palmetto orders just shipped. Yeah. Hopefully, guys, we'll be getting stuff that we're looking for. Kyle says he has the same 3/4 impact since 1994. That's a long time, man. I don't think I ever had an impact last me that long. I always bought junk impacts though. I was never that rich. Even the ones
I
we
have the Craftsman. That's the identical copy of the Ingersoll Rand half-inch one, and it's I've had that thing for 10, 12 years, and it's awesome.
I bought mine in '94, and like I was type. Hell, I'll just say it. Everybody's still asking me today, where did you get that? What's the model number? I'm like, you don't understand. They don't build this one anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's 25 years old, but whenever everybody else's Matcos and Snap-ons and all that stuff won't take a yoke nut off or a head bolt out or something like that. Hey, can I borrow your impact? Yeah, it's right there. I just leave it on top of the toolbox now. I don't even lock it up. Night shift might need it, whatever. But that old Craftsman, I think I paid, and this is back in '94, I think I paid right around $500, a little less, a little more, something like that for it. And it's never been rebuilt, never been gone into. It's been well taken care of, but that is the strongest 3/4 impact I've ever seen. Then we started talking about tools again.
Yeah. Hey, man, tools are a big part of what we do. I mean, whether it's reloading or working on cars. I mean, I know all that stuff kind of, I don't know about blends together, but it certainly lends one hand to the other. I mean, I started in cars, and you're a truck mechanic. I don't do anything anymore. But
I don't own a firearm that needs a 3/4 inch impact range to make a bullet.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me say something for a minute, guys. As is my usual custom, Josh, I've spent the last 2 days in my shop at work with 243 outdoor videos playing. And now I can't sit there and watch your videos for 8 hours a day while I'm working, obviously, but I got them going on, and I like to have some white noise in case somebody comes in. I'm not real scared. I'm not jumpy or something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Anyway, I really like that truck. What model truck is that?
That is an '84. It's a single rear wheel 1-ton. It's a 454 big block. Got the turbo 400 gear drive transfer case. It's all the good stuff.
Yeah,
you talking about the flood video, Jamie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was tooling around in 3 feet of water.
That's a great video, man.
Those are 37-inch buckshots on it. It's got 6-inch lift. Gets about 2 miles a gallon.
I like the way you're driving. You're driving down like Main Street, like, look at this idiot.
Yeah. The cars are pushing bumper deep, headlights under.
Oh man, that was such a great video. Matter of fact, I think me and you cut up back and forth for like 30 minutes on it in the comment section. That was a killer video.
Wanted to bring up here just before we forget. Dusty Bowhunter asked about a 22-250 question there.
Yeah, I answered him there on the chat. That was when I was talking about picking up like 2 more rifles when I was considering it. That he was wanting to know if I went ahead and was going to do it. I think Kentucky Gun Company's just about out of those guns. I was looking the other night, and there was just a handful of them left. So they really went pretty fast.
Yes. Tread asked me about, do I have a specific press wrench, or do you just use crescent wrenches? I got a lot of answers to that. One, I like Hornady lock rings. Hornady lock rings require that Hornady wrench because trying to get them, because there's only 2 flat sides on it, you have to be able to get a hold of that, and you can't do that with other dies in the way. So that's why I use, I do have a wrench for my press. However, I do have a crescent wrench that sits up there, and I used to use regular standard combination wrenches. My viewpoint on stuff like that is, if I can spend $10 on some kind of tool that I don't need but I think looks cool, I can take that same $10 and put that towards a die or something that maybe a mold or something that I actually can use. So I try not to spend money on things like that. but in this case, I kind of had to because I really do like the Hornady lock rings. I think they are the class for me, the way they work. But they are kind of a pain in the butt to get the dies in and out. So that's why I got one.
What kind of press is he running?
I don't know. He's just asking about the specific press wrench, and I'm guessing he means dies and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it depends on which press you're running, because if you're running a Dillon, they make these low profile rings where the low profile lock rings, so you can actually get a wrench in there to them,
and they go on any die.
Or the Lees, you ain't getting a wrench in there.
That's true.
That's really close right there. You're gonna have to play around and use some Alabama fit-alls and everything else to make that stuff tight. Lee made some low profile lock rings.
Dillon
made a low profile wrench that goes right in there, and you can get between every single thing there, and it's great. Yeah, they charge you for it. It's a 1-inch wrench, but last time I looked in my toolbox, my 1-inch wrench is a hell of a lot thicker than that one.
Yep.
So
those rings come in like, I think, a 5-pack for like $10 too.
Yeah, they come in a 5.
So the rings are fairly cheap.
I bought like 3 or 4 5-packs, and here, I'll grab another one right here. All of the shell plates that I run in my Dillon run the low pro rings. I grabbed like 5 of the 5-packs, and that took care of most of the calibers that I was using the Dillon for. So it's kind of fun. And if you don't believe me, here's another one. It's got the low pro rings on it too. Excuse me.
Yeah, and there's some presses. For instance, my Hornady lock and load it has certain Allen wrenches that are needed, and I mean I don't really have a good setup for that anymore. I used to have the way my bench was set up. I had like a 1x6 that was part of a shelf that had a couple holes drilled in it that had every Allen wrench I needed. I don't feel like having one of those big sets of T handles. I just got them kind of loosely thrown up in a bowl. But yeah, there's a lot of different setups, man, just depending on how it goes. Tim finally showed up, brother. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to hear you and the wife went out to dinner, man. Date night is important. We tried to do a date night last night. Well, kind of did. We went out to dinner. We tried to do a movie thing, but both of us were super hungry, and we ended up just deciding to go to dinner. So glad you got to go out with the wife, buddy. Oh, how we doing time here? We got a little bit left.
We got 10 minutes left. I got some guys wanting to see this Mauser. So is it okay if I show it off for a minute?
Absolutely. Show up your work. That's what we're here for.
Sir.
There you go. Can you see it? I got to keep talking.
Heard it.
I got the blue back on the muzzle. I have a front sight hood for it, but I can't get it on. I got the strap in. There's a lot of sanding. I think I sanded on this thing for 3 weeks. There's 6 coats of hand rubbed boiled linseed oil on it. Did a little touch up blue in here and there. And it's pretty smooth. You can hear it. But I can't wait to get it to the range.
That is beautiful, brother. That is a good job. That's a really good job.
I even got numbers in the stock. Can y'all see the numbers? There you can see the numbers. I have no idea what they mean. I've got numbers all through this thing, and none of them are the same. But I sent Kyle a picture or two of it night before last, I think, right when I got it put back together. He wants to know when we're going to go make it go bang. So we'll probably be. I mean, it's not perfect, but I didn't want it to be perfect because it's a military rifle. But it sure does feel a lot better. And when I got it, like Josh said, it was a beautiful stock, but it was still fuzzy. It was still never been sanded and had never truly been finished. It'd been cut on. It'd been cut, and it was. I don't know what to say except for it was fuzzy. You could rub your hand in one direction, you might get splinters, but it's smooth as a baby's butt now. So I'm kind of proud of it. I did a lot of work. Willie, how long have I been working on that thing?
Well, I'll tell you, all that work was worth it because that thing is really, really, really pretty. You did a great job.
Well, thank you, sir. And I'm really liking that strap. I bought that from Gun Parts, Numrich Gun Parts, Gun Parts Corporation.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work with Numeric in the past because they bought out some H&R stuff and things like that. So Dad's had a lot of stuff through them, and I've had a couple things.
I also got a cleaning rod, but it won't fit down in the hole. It's about 25 thousandths too fat. So I think they'll swap it for me and give me a skinnier one. I've got I bought a cleaning kit that's got the oil can and a kind of like a bore snake that goes down through there. So I'm getting more complete. And if I could show y'all this, I can't find it now. It's laying around here somewhere. Oh, here it is. This thing, this is the hood. So the front sight hood, it's kind of like the Marlin, only bigger. So I know you got to spread this thing apart and get it on there, but I'm kind of afraid to bend it too much. But it is spring steel. I know it's spring steel, so it'll snap back. Any ideas, guys?
Search on YouTube.
Why didn't I think of that?
That's the answer for about everything.
Pretty much, yes, sir. But
you'll find how to do it wrong, and you'll find how to do it right.
The trick is being able to distinguish between the two. Google it, Adam Jean said. Thanks for the compliments, guys.
Absolutely, man. You did a great job. And I've gone through that process, and I know how time-consuming it can be, and kind of tedious even. So I never touched up blued mine though. Did you cold blue that, and did you polish before you did it, or did you just kind of touch up with it? I don't know.
Yes, all that.
Okay.
What I did was first thing I did was take it apart, and anywhere there was some surface rust, I took quadruple aught steel wool and edge red and cleaned the rust off of it. And then I oiled it and let it sit for a couple of days, and then I took some mineral spirits or denatured alcohol and cleaned all the oil off of it. And then I heated it up with a torch, just enough to get the blue to really stick on there. And then when the blue turned white after about, it turns white in just a few minutes, but I let it sit on there for probably about an hour. And then I would clean the white stuff off and immediately put oil on it.
Yeah, I did an entire my 303 Brit. I did the entire thing cold blue, and I polished everything.
Right.
And part of the reason why I did that was because one, I don't know if you guys have ever messed with a model or a Mark One kind of model. The old 303 Brits, they were painted. It's how they were done, and it kind of looked like hell. And I just wanted that stuff off there, so I went after it, and it took a long time, but man, it came out looking amazing. And then I had a spot on the magazine. And this is the thing that's odd about it. Usually when you cold blue a gun like that, they tell you that you have to be super careful because it will rust on you. Well, I lived in a camper for a little while, and after that period of time, the only spot of rust on that gun that I hadn't noticed or whatever, or that got away from me, there was a little spot on the magazine well thing that the 303 has. And I polished that and re-blued it, and it came out with the exact same like interesting pattern that it used to have because because it goes by the metal and stuff. It was really neat, man. That whole process took a long time, but I didn't do that. The one that I've done the stock on recently, I didn't do the metal, and I did the metal on the one that has a plastic stock on it. So just kind of, you did a heck of a job all the way around, man. I'm a little jealous.
Hey, Jamie, you got a bunch of water heading your way.
Really? Is it raining down there?
Yes, sir. That's why I muted it. You couldn't hear it.
It's raining here. It rained all day today, and I think it's going to rain all day tomorrow. So it's going to be another mud hole for a while.
So by that kind of consensus, then the entire country is wet. Because
Yes.
it's been raining all day here too, all day.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, you wanna get together one afternoon next week and reshoot this 300 blackout and play with whatever you want to play with? You want to meet me over there, or you just want me to go by myself, or what?
I'll meet you over there. Maybe Chico can join us. I think we need to go up to Johns Mountain though and take this 8mm.
Now that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Hey, we might be able to see the target there.
That's my thoughts exactly. But we got
Now,
2 minutes. Nathan,
yeah, I'll wrap it up here. But one thing I will say is, if you're gonna go out with Kyle right now, you just got to keep him away from that sling blade. He's fitting to kill you. Well, guys, I appreciate everybody coming out. It has been an amazing night. I know some of you guys have got in a little late. PC Bullet Empire, got Fuzzy Fork. Idaho Roger's been with us the whole time, like always. Love it. Bigger Behind the Trigger in the house. Vanessa Kitty. Tread's been with us since way before. Before the chat even started. William C. Chapin. Willie Bullet Man got in a little bit late, brother. We're glad you can make it. Glad that you're home. Adam Jean, I appreciate your input tonight. Armament Axes, as always, man. Thanks for coming out. I'm looking forward to what you talked about there coming up in September. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Guys, I appreciate 243 Outdoors coming to see us. If you have not taken a look at his channel, he is in the chat here. You just touch the bubbles next to his name, and you can go to his channel and subscribe. Don't mess around. Just straight up subscribe to it. Go take a look at the reloadersnetwork.com. It's where all of us are hanging out. And there is a reloading at or .slack or Slack at, reloading at Slack or some crap. Go to Slack.
No Slack.
The reloadersnetwork.com. And we all talk amongst each other. So you can come talk to us individually if you have any questions. We had a guy earlier who said we were kind of talking a little bit over his head. I do apologize for that. Sometimes we forget that we do have some new reloaders in the house. Get on Slack, get on the reloadersnetwork.com. You can kind of talk with us individually. You can talk with a whole bunch of other people and see some really good articles and information. All the YouTube videos that most of all of us all put out, we also put on the reloadersnetwork.com in case we have something disappear or whatever, because, YouTube gets stupid. So I really want to thank Loads of Bacon for putting that up. I want to thank 243 Outdoors for being our guest tonight. And if we want to go around the room, talk about what we got going out, we'll go ahead and sign out.
Yeah, sure, guys. Thanks for being here. The side chat was off the chain. I enjoyed it. I was trying to keep up with the comments. So if I forgot anybody's comment or question, I apologize. But we enjoyed it. So thanks for being here as always.
So what you got going on, Chico, before we sign out? What's coming up next?
I've got more of that 45. Oh yeah, more of that 45 semi-wide cutter testing. I was gonna go to the range today, but as you guys know, this Georgia, this rain. I was going to an outdoor range today, but the rain kept me inside. So I'm gonna be doing that so I can perfect that load. You know, I had a comment in the side from they were talking about bullseye. I forgot who it was. And he says he uses for a competition and shooting. He uses bullseye with that same bullet. So I'll probably pick up me some bullseye probably tomorrow. I'll go to a local gun shop. But I'm gonna try that HP 38, my tight group, and that Shooter's World powder I have, because I've got all the load data for that. So that's gonna be it, guys. I should be posting a video here probably within the next day on me redeeming myself from that SR 1911 that I didn't get. That and that Smith & Wesson Model 19. So I've got to, you know, I think I did better. So that's it for me, guys. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll jump in right quick. As far as my Survival Sunday stuff, I don't know what to do because it's raining. I can't do what I wanted to do, which was shelters and stuff like that. So y'all just, I bet, what we talk about food that we take hiking. I mean, what do we talk about? Y'all let me know. I'm glad. I'm very proud to see everybody that was on the side chat, and I really enjoyed cutting up with you. Trying to get my boys fed and make sure they got everything that they need. And I've just had a really good time tonight, even though I don't feel really good. So I appreciate it.
Kyle, I got a suggestion, brother. Go grab a whoopee and a poncho and do an improvised shelter and show how you basically keep yourself out of the rain and off the ground within, you know, a half an hour or 20 minutes or whatever.
I can do that in about 5 seconds.
Yeah. Just drag it out a little bit, talk about it some more. Yeah, just drag it out and talk about it a little bit, and then film it outside so you're not outside getting wet all day. And that's what I would do. I mean, that'd be a good video, especially if it's raining. And you can use it as a lead for a bigger. Yeah.
What'd you say, Josh?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I was just saying that you could use it as a lead for a bigger shelter video for next week. That's all.
Oh, yeah. I think I picked up what you're putting down. Josh, it was great having you on here, sir. I appreciate you coming by, and thank you for being a guest here, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. You know, I watch it every week, but you know, I want to comment. I want to talk to you guys, and I can't do it when it's not live. So it's a whole lot more fun. You know, I'll catch myself trying to like, oh, I got something to say, and I can't. But Curtis said up there in the chat, some of us up north guys should do a chat like you guys do. So he's probably wanting to start the new Yankee live stream or something. So that might happen. I don't know.
As long as you talk about dados and biscuits, it'll be just like the new Yankee workshop.
Yeah, putting gravy on our biscuits and. But I definitely want to thank you guys. I enjoy your guys' chat. It's a great time. I look forward to it every week. All you guys are top-notch guys. I enjoy all your content. Pretty much watch just about every video you guys put out. I've got more subscriptions than I can watch, but I try to get through them every week. It's a full-time job.
Yes, it is, man. I can attest to that. Yeah. So, Jamie, what you got coming up next, brother?
Well, I got load 7 of 35 Remington released today. I put it on. It's been on the Reloaders Network for about 3 days. So I try to give them at least 48 hours before I turn it public on YouTube. So, guys, if you want to see most of our stuff, I think most of us, I know Josh does that too. If you want to see our stuff before it's turned loose on YouTube, you can you can sign up for the notifications on the Reloaders Network as well. And the best way to get Slack is to go to the Reloaders Network and click on the chat button. There'll be one of the links at the top is for chat, and you can download Slack onto your phone or your laptop, whatever it is you're using. But I will be doing a video to show off the Mauser now that it's finished. I have a mold for it right here that Mr. Kenny at Eagle Eye sent me. It's a single cavity. I think it's 165 grain tumble lube design. Single cavity, but that's going to be fun. Curtis is sending me some brass and no telling what else, knowing Curtis. But I'm looking forward to getting into the 8mm thing. I do have a M2447 Yugo Mauser as well. So I have 2 Yugo Mausers and the Finnish M39 Mosin Nagant that I also redid the stock on that one too. But thanks, Adam. You're the only one that's noticed. I hadn't been shaving since November for No Shave November. But before we get off of here, I want to say thanks to Josh for coming on, and thank you for my Christmas card. It was in the mailbox today when I got home, and I meant to bring it in here and show it off tonight, but my granddaughter got it, so it's probably in the Easy Bake Oven. I hope she ain't turned it up. So, and I'm surprised she hadn't been running in here. But guys, we had at one point we had 38 folks watching, and again, thanks everybody for coming, and thanks Josh for being here. Thank Nathan for hosting us, and Kyle, even though he didn't feel good, and Chico Wise had a little family thing going on, but he made it too. So thanks to everybody.
I second that, Jamie. I appreciate everybody coming out, even when we're not feeling good. We might have a couple of those things. We try to make it out the best we can. Jamie, I don't know how I didn't recognize that you didn't have a beard before. It just seems like it's just natural, like it's supposed to be there. That's awesome. I wanted
It
to.
has been. I just haven't shaved it or trimmed it. I usually keep it real short and neat and close.
Okay. That makes sense.
I was. He normally keeps it trimmed, and I didn't notice until he said anything.
Yeah.
It's a lot longer than it used to be.
Yeah. I want to say thanks to 243 Outdoors for my Christmas card. I'll have a video on that here soon, for sure. Go ahead and take a look, guys. He's getting ready to post some test rounds with his new Thompson compass. So go ahead and take a look at that. I appreciate everybody coming out to the chat. Everybody coming out for the live stream. I've got some videos that are going to be hitting here soon, guys. I've got a period. Way it works for the school. I'm going to have some time off here, so I'm going to get caught up with making some videos that I've made parts of, and I need to edit and stuff. So I'm going to have some videos coming out here soon. I'll hopefully be able to move a little bit forward on my AR project and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to what's going to come up in the future. I'm going to have some new load development when I get the AR done. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to finishing up the 32 mag series. Guys, I appreciate everybody coming out. I look forward to it. I look forward to it every week. I know everybody else does. So we do have the Reloaders Network is next week. Isn't that right, Jamie?
I believe it is.
Yeah. So the Reloaders Network is going to be doing their live chat on Saturday next week. So if you're looking for us, we're not going to be there. Go over to Loads of Bacon on Saturday night and check his live stream out. If you're looking for another live stream, I don't know if Uncle Jim's going to be doing one this week or next week, but always keep your eye out because they are a blast.
I think Uncle Jim's going to be doing his Christmas Hat Chat Part 2 next Saturday after the Reloaders Network's live chat.
All right.
Him and Tim started that on the Saturday before Christmas last year, and we've been keeping up with it every month, and he doesn't want to let the tradition die. So once the Reloaders Network chat winds down, he's going to fire up the hat chat, and this is going to be a hoot.
Oh, I bet. I know it will be. It's no question. And on a personal note, guys, some of you might not be into this, but if you're into college football, this Saturday, the college that I work at they're in the Division II championship game in Texas. It's going to be on ESPN. Give it a watch. It's going to be awesome because we're going to beat the Bulldogs. So, Jamie, take that. But anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody coming out, and so it'll be two
Dogs.
different Bulldogs, but Bulldogs nonetheless.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it, my friend. I will watch it.
I appreciate anybody that does put it on. They play really good football. Anyway, so guys, I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get you off here. We're already running about 10 minutes late. So have a good night. I'll probably see you guys out at the Hat Chat, and the rest of you guys. You got something, Jamie?
One more thing, especially since we're not going to be on next Friday night for the Reloaders Network Multi-Author Chat. I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas and spend that time with your family. Cherish every moment you have because you never know when it's going to be the last one.
I agree.
Absolutely. So, definitely Merry Christmas to everybody if we don't see you until then. But until then, have a good night. I appreciate everybody coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Night, guys, girls.